What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Mika Chanel. I'm back with another edition of Mika Chanel is Just Saying. All right, I'm a day late. I feel like I'm always saying that about Orange County. But anyways, so we're talking about the Real Housewives of Orange County Season 11 Reunion Part 2. Okay, you guys? This reunion has been a little juicy, a little interesting. We've been learning a little behind the scene facts. I like how they did the whole, talking to the people, showing what they do behind the scenes, like in between the breaks and getting ready for the reunions and different things like that. I've enjoyed that so far. So we, of course, see the ladies come back from break. They sit back down and they open it up with clips of the ladies just being silly and saying really nasty things and just doing weird shit. Okay, so we had to relive Vicky showing her breasts to Terry at the freaking table. They were at a restaurant or something, and Heather like FaceTimes her husband, and she wants him to look at Vicky's nipples because apparently Vicky had like some kind of botched breast lift surgery years and years ago, and she's been working to get them corrected over time. I remember that scene. I was disgusted by the scene. I just didn't understand why they would do that. And Heather is always trying to act like she's so prim and proper, unless it's something that she does, then it's okay. But if somebody else would have did that, I don't think Heather would have, sat there and been laughing and thought it was so freaking funny. Then we had to relive, I don't know, just all kind of stuff. Tamara farting on Eddie. Shannon talking about she lactates still when they were milking the cows and stuff. I don't know. It was just really not something that I needed to relive. And they talked a little bit about it. It wasn't really a big deal. So we're gonna move on to Shannon. They show clips of her relationship with David. They show the vow renewal and they show her moving in, packing up her house, moving into her new home. They also show the scene, what went down at her kids' concert with, the mother-in-law and everything. Someone wrote in and asked a question, and they want to know why Shannon thinks that this vow renewal is was a good idea, and if she really thinks it's gonna save her marriage, because it doesn't. Most of the time vow renewals, they are just like the kiss of death or whatever. They bring up, I think, Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon and somebody else, and then they also bring up Don and Vicky. And so Shannon is saying, her husband, wanted to make her birthday special. It was a very touching moment. She said we didn't see everything that happened. She said David was crying the entire time. He was just so full of emotion. I was thinking in the back of my mind when she was saying that, like, yeah, he was probably like crying like shit. I hope this works so this crazy bitch can get off my ass, okay? He just seems so checked out, and I don't know if it's his Botox, because clearly he gets Botox or he gets something, because his face is always like frozen, or maybe that's just the way he looks. I don't know, but he just looks zoned out all the damn time, like he is just not present at all and doesn't even want to be present. And then they discuss, what went down. Then they talk about, because Andy's like, ask Vicky, you compared your marriage to Shannon's marriage and what were the similarities, and Vicky was trying to give some similarities about, Don cheating on her and then she cheated on Don, and Shannon's like, well, that's not my marriage. I didn't step out and cheat. I wasn't necessarily happy, but I didn't step out and cheat. So, our marriages, you can't really, compare the two. And, Shannon she was really upset about that. And then Andy asks her if she thought that her mother-in-law planned, to act a fool at the event. And Shannon says yes, because she later found out from her children that the grandmother had came up to them and was like, remember, I love you regardless of what happens or whatever. So Shannon took that to mean that, that her mother-in-law had planned to come there and start some drama. But a reader writes in and is like, a viewer writes in and is like, well, Tamra, leave it up to you to be the shit stirrer. And don't you feel a little bit guilty about, running back and telling Shannon what her mother-in-law said and then having the whole scene get blown up like that? And Tamra's like, no, because I didn't think that Shannon was going to react in that way. And we have been having conversations about her mother-in-law and everything. And she was like, Shannon kept saying she was over the affair, which clearly she wasn't, because she just snapped off, with the mother-in-law saying that Shannon pushed David to have an affair. And Tamara was like, if she would have known that Shannon was going to go off like that, she never would have said anything. And she feels like Shannon is like, she's never done anything. No, Shannon feels like that Tamara did the right thing. Tamara should have told her. I don't think anybody was expecting Shannon to just blow up the way she did. I mean, she just snapped off. Y'all remember the scene. She snapped off, and which clearly shows that she still has a lot of emotion about the affair, which is understandable. But don't keep trying to tell everybody that you're over it and you're just better than ever and you're happier than ever, because your actions don't show that. You know what I mean? And then Shannon says that she's never really done anything to her mother-in-law. The only thing she's ever done to her mother-in-law was one time at saying, yeah, go ahead and leave. That's what you always do. Shannon was stressed out. She, they had the daughter, then they ended up having the twins, and the twins were real small. And Shannon said she was just really stressed and she apologized for it. But I mean, I don't know the whole situation. I know like mother-in-laws, I've heard, can be some real monsters. I got along with my mother-in-law before she passed away. I didn't know her that long. My husband and I were only together a couple of years. She died when we were really young. We were like, my husband and I both were 19 or 20. 19 when she passed away. So it was a long time, and I had only known my husband at that time for, a little over a year. But she was a nice lady, and I don't know, so I don't have the whole monster-in-law experience, but I hear it can be something, and so I don't know. I'll go ahead and believe what Shannon said, that she never did anything to the lady, because I can understand that. And then someone wrote in and asked Vicky, like, why would you say you feel sorry for David, saying that David's gonna pay for the affair for the rest of his life when he's the one that had the affair? So why are you feeling sorry for him? And Vicky's just like, it's not necessarily feeling sorry for David. It's just she knows that an affair sticks with you and is just not something that you're going to get over. And most of the other ladies agreed, like, that they could never get over an affair. And Shannon was just saying, like, they're not in her home. She says that, her and David are good. Nothing is, they argue from time to time, but, everything is normal. Everything is good in their hood. And she just kind of wants to stop talking about it a little, it seems like to me. But, I mean, you're the one that made this your whole storyline last season. And then coming into this season, you kept talking about it. So, I mean, you got to talk about it. Andy asked her, was there any drama with her and the chick that David had the affair with? And I guess there was a little bit of drama, I guess, because they go to these football games. I'm assuming it's like college football games. And I guess the lady has season tickets like in front of them. And so I guess at one time the lady, just antagonizing Sharon, I don't know, just, looking at her or something crazy like that, she said, and then they accidentally brushed into each other, and Shannon just starts yelling at her and then yells into the stands, "That's her," or whatever. And I'm like, oh wow. Okay. Because people know who Shannon is, and people know what the situation is with Shannon and David. So just by her yelling, "That's her," everybody knows who this woman is now. Hey, all is fair in love and war. That's what I got to say about that bullshit right there. Then they do clips of the ladies and their catchphrases. Heather with her, "Oh, by the way," Kelly just always, of course. And then Shannon with the whole, "Are you kidding me?" Like, how many times did Shannon say, "Are you kidding me?" on that episode with the vow renewal? Like, seriously, I was so sick of her saying that. I'm like, please somebody tell Shannon to please stop saying this damn word. She just kept saying it over and over. "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And then they say something else about the other ladies' taglines. I don't know, something like Megan always talking about sperm, Tamara's always talking about Jesus, and of course Vicky's always talking about whoop it up. She been talking about whoop it up forever, since the beginning. But I feel like they only threw the last three ladies in there just to make them feel good, because really it was really just Shannon, Heather, and Kelly that had phrases that I remember, except for the whoop it up, but that's like an ongoing phrase with Vicky, you know what I mean? Anyways, moving on from that. That wasn't really anything too big. They move on to Heather and Terry, and they show, the clips of, what went down with them this season, and how Terry is just not around, and Heather really wants him to start spending more time at home and not work so much, not say yes to everybody, and except for the kids. And I guess someone had wrote in a question and was like, well, you say Terry, Dr. Terry is away all the time from the kids, away from home, but I see you on social media and you're also always traveling and doing these things. And Heather's like, well, her kids are seeing her be a working woman, being successful. And she says that when she's home, she's home. She takes very good care of her kids. But Shannon always has something to say when someone calls out her hypocrisy, okay? But I get what she's saying. As mothers, we are just a little bit more present, when we are at home, we're a lot more present, I feel like, than the dads are. They just can't deal. They have very short fuses, and they can't, deal with the whole chaos that is having children in the house, sometimes. And so, I don't know. Anyways, someone then wrote in, still on Heather, someone wrote in asking Heather if she had any real problems, because we've seen all the other ladies dealing with, real serious issues throughout the season. And the only thing Heather had to deal with was, trying to get her house in order, which she's been doing for the last few seasons. But Heather was saying that, her marriage is good right now. Like, they've had really dark moments in the past, and she knows that they're going to have dark moments in the future. But for right now, the shit is good, according to Heather, okay? And she's going to ride the good shit out. And I don't blame her. Like, everybody does not have to always have these dramatic ass issues within their families. We did see a little bit with Heather and her husband, a few seasons back. I think didn't he say something about a divorce at one point? They were arguing a lot. And it just, I'm not a fan of Heather, but I just take offense to that question, just because. And why do people think that you have to have drama in your marriage, in your life? Like, you don't have to always have drama in your life. And if your marriage is good, I mean, they've been married for a long time, so they're probably at a point in their marriage where, things are settled, they're over that hump, they understand each other, they know how to make each other tick, but they also know how to calm each other down, so you get to a point in your marriage, after the first like 5 years or so are just like ridiculously hard for, I don't even know why, but everyone that's married has told me that. I definitely experienced it. But then you're gonna, I'm working on close to 10 years now. So things are, they run a lot more smoothly than they used to. Even when we argue or get upset with each other, things just still run a lot more smoothly. So I just feel like, just let Heather and Terry be in their little happy bubble if she wants to be in her happy bubble. I mean, do people want them to, fall apart, or to see them arguing and cheating or whatever? Like, I don't know what people want to see. I talked enough about that. So but anyways, they went to commercial break, come back, and Brianna is on the scene, okay? Vicky started, Brianna comes out. She said that things are back to normal with her mother. She's very happy about that. Now that Brooks is out of her mom's life, everything is good. Brianna says that she really likes Vicky's new boyfriend. I believe his name is Steve. Vicky and him have been dating for about seven months or so, which I think is a long time, and especially at Vicky's age, that's a long time. Like when you're younger in your 20s, or 7 months isn't a long time to get to know another person because you barely know your own self, But I think when you're in your 50s and older, even before that, maybe in your late 30s, early 40s, like it doesn't take you that long to get to know someone. It's not that like you're gonna get married after 7 months, but you know. So I'm happy for Vicky. But then someone wrote in and was like, Vicky, why do you always feel you need to have a man in your life? And she's like, I don't feel like I need to have a man in my life. I like to have a companion. I like all of that. I like my love tank to be full. But she says she doesn't need a man in her life. But then, of course, as Brianna does, she always disagrees with her mom. And she says that, yeah, mom, you do need to have a man in your life. Like even when you were, single, after Brooks and before this new guy, you were dating a lot of guys. Like you were always on the hunt for a man. But Vicky said before, I feel like she said before, she's not good being alone. Which is probably why she got herself in the situation that she did with Brooks. She just really wanted to have someone, and he was there talking a good game. Y'all remember them little quotes he used to say? I remember, who was it, Jim Bellino, Alexis's husband? Didn't they go to Las Vegas or something? And Brooks had said this quote. I can't remember what he said, but it was like the craziest thing. Like, what is he talking about? And Jim, Alexis's husband, was looking like, oh, okay. But you can see all over his face. He was like, what the fuck is wrong with this man? What is he talking about? It was funny. But yeah, so, Vicky, she's addicted to love. That's her problem. And hopefully, she's with the right person that won't take advantage of that right now. Then someone asked, like, why is Vicky bribing Brianna to move back to the Orange County? She's bribing her with the house. And Vicky's like, Brianna's like, she's not bribing me. I am successful in my own right. I'm a nurse. I work very hard. I went to school for a long time. I've been sick, but I still work hard. I got 2 small children. Don't, downplay my accomplishments just because my mom can help me get a house. And I'm sitting there like, I'm not mad at all. I mean, that's what you want as a parent. You hope to be in a place that when your kids start to go out on their own and create their own lives, you hope that you can at least give them that stepping stone, which is helping them buy a house, helping them get a car, helping them through college, whatever. Like, you hope that you're in that position. So for somebody to write in, them motherfuckers just hating because their parents couldn't help them buy a house. And I ain't hating on that either, because hell, my mama couldn't help me buy this motherfucker either. Me and my husband did this on our own. But at the same time, if my mom had the means or dad had the means, then they would have helped. And I've been be damned if somebody say some shit about it, okay? And, Vicky's like, I don't bribe my kids, and she felt offended that Shannon had said it, because Shannon had made a comment, and Shannon apologized. She said she didn't realize that Brianna was ill, and that's why she was moving back to the Orange County to be closer to, the doctors, the better doctors, and to be closer to her mom, to have more help with the kids. Her husband's a Marine. He's busy. He's still in active service. He's not, like, deployed, but he's busy. And so, she's got 2 small children. She's been diagnosed with what they now found out is lupus. Like, all these years, we thought Brianna had lymphoma, but she said finally they made the diagnosis that it's lupus. And lupus is very hard to, not that I'm a doctor or anything, I just have experience with people that have had lupus and were sick for years, and no one could tell them what was wrong with them. Like my one girlfriend, she passed away some years back, but she was battling with some illness for a very long time. Like, first they tried to tell her she had HIV, then they tried to tell her she had some kind of cancer, and then they finally pinpointed that it was lupus. And at that time, it was a little too late for her, to get treatment. But, and then I have another friend right now that she's been living with lupus for a very long time, but it took them a couple of years to nail down what was wrong with her as well. So I feel really bad, lupus. Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know if either one of them are better, lymphoma or lupus. I mean, they're both, going to attack your body in ways that could be irreversible, It's very sad. They start talking about Vicky and her cancer charity. Y'all know that bullshit Vicky was involved in. I don't know why she was involved in it. None of the other ladies know why she was involved in it. She says that she just kind of wanted to bring attention to it. She just wanted to dig herself out of the hole that she got in, but it actually made it worse, you know. And then of course Megan did some research on this charity and found out that in when you go on, you know, I guess they say they were giving you a free bracelet if you got information, but you had to put your information in there. And when you put your information in there, you know, it took you to, you know, see if you want to buy insurance. So Vicky was also selling her insurance on the website for this charity, which I feel is very tacky. All of the other ladies felt it was tacky too, and I had to agree that was a little tacky. But I guess the charity wasn't even real or something. I don't know. The website is taken down. But Vicky, you know, Kelly tried to defend Vicky by saying she's a salesperson and that's what she does. But at the same time, that you just don't do that with charity, you know, unless someone comes up to you and says, do you know where I can get some really good insurance? You know, other than that, you know, it's separate. It's a charity. You cannot promote your business through charity, you know. I mean, it's just a little tacky. But, you know, hey, Vicky's a businesswoman and she didn't become, you know, rich for just sitting back waiting on people to come buy insurance from her. So, hey, it is what it is. After the commercial break, you know, we see the ladies back, you know, they're having their break. And Tamara's in the back talking to Brianna and just telling Brianna how just complaining about Vicky, and she's like, yeah, she just traded Brooksy in for Kelly, and you know, and Brianna's like, well, she just wants to have someone on her side, but you know, Tamara's just really upset. I'm not sure why Tamara's so upset, but she is. And then we see Vicky on the couch with Kelly, and they're whispering back and forth, and Vicky's like, don't turn on me. They're about to start with some bullshit. Don't turn on me. I'm not gonna turn on you. So, you know, they're forming their alliances during the commercial breaks. Then when they come on, you know, they do a montage of Kelly and her many drunk antics and things, you know. After it's over, Andy asks Kelly if that was hard to watch, and Kelly said, no, it's not hard to watch. And Megan was like, but I thought you had some remorse. And Kelly's like, fuck them. You know what I'm saying? I had remorse after the sushi dinner. I had remorse after some other things. But the way that I was treated in Ireland, them bitches can kiss my ass. I don't feel bad. She was like, the only thing I do feel bad about is saying something about Tamara's daughter. Even though she said she wasn't saying anything directly about Tamara's daughter, but just having the whole situation brought up and thrown in Tamara's face. She felt bad about it and she apologized about it. She says that she went to AA before it was court ordered because her and her husband got into some altercation with some people and something went down, and she said she hit her husband to stop him from fighting. So I don't know how that goes down, but she got arrested, and in order to make that go away, she had to go to AA, and she learned that she definitely was not an alcoholic, but she has anger problems, and she says that she's been in anger management, and if she wasn't in anger management, she would have beat the shit out of Tamara's ass because because of the way that she pushed her in Ireland and the way that they were talking to her. She just feels like she was just really pushed on the show. I'm trying to figure out where the hell I am in my notes because I'm just like talking off the top of my head now. But anyways, so they go back to the whole sushi dinner and they're talking to Kelly, and Kelly's saying, well, Heather's the one that said she didn't want to film with me anymore. If I was still on the show, if I didn't get fired, she didn't want to film with me anymore or something. And Heather is just like, you know what? Let me explain that. We were at this sushi restaurant. This restaurant is very near and dear to my heart. You know, someone, I think her brother-in-law or something like that she was close to. It was the last dinner they had at that restaurant. She said the walls were paper thin, and Kelly was just yelling, calling people cunts and fuck yous and this and that. But at the same time, Heather then goes and starts yelling on her own and saying, this is low brown bullshit. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. So like, Heather, I mean, did you forget were the walls only paper thin when Kelly was talking and not when you were talking? We all know Kelly was just off just gone. She just snapped off for no reason at that dinner. I wouldn't say for no reason. She was upset, but she just handled it all wrong But Heather handled it wrong as well. And Heather didn't even have anything to do with it. You know? If she was going through some personal things, she should have just excused herself. But I don't know. Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to reject that call. I had a call pop up. Anyways, I don't know. Heather, you know, she's just a hypocrite. You know, she just, to me, she's a real hypocrite. Megan tells Kelly, like, you know what? I don't like this kind of friendship. I don't like, you know, someone that says things, gets, you know, Kelly gets really defensive, and then she goes off the deep end, and then she says she's sorry, then she takes it back, and then Heather's like, it's always sorry, not sorry, sorry, not sorry, or whatever. And, you know, they, of course, talk about what happened with Tamara's daughter, but then, Kelly said to Heather, like, well, Heather, you made a comment about my daughter when we were in the bus. Remember, Heather said, like, she feels sorry for Jolie or something like that, she said. And, you know, Heather's like, you know what? I know, and I apologize for that. We were all on the bus. We were all drinking, and I shouldn't have said that, and that's not an excuse my behavior. Heather, isn't that the same thing you just said to use against Kelly, saying that Kelly gets drunk and says things that she doesn't mean? And now you're using that same argument, but yet you saying Kelly can't use it? Like, I mean, seriously, these women and their hypocrisy is just like, it's ridiculous. You know, just just stop judging your other castmates and just learn how to have fun and go with the fucking flow, because you judge one person and then you turn around and do the exact same thing. Like, seriously, calm down with all the damn judgment and just try to have fun. And you were trying to get Kelly drunk. I mean, I'm hoping they bring that shit up too. Anyways, she just said, you know, basically they were, you know, I don't know, just the whole thing just went down a different way than it should have. The last little thing was someone had wrote in and said, you know, asked why Kelly was being so mean to people on social media, and I guess they said that she had fat shamed some people, and Kelly's like, I never fat shamed anyone. And then Shannon's like, well, you sent this picture of me to Tamara and was like, with the caption like, yeah, keep eating, and and Kelly was like, so I don't like you, I just don't like you, bitch, and that's it. And that's why I don't give a shit about sending a picture, okay? I thought that part was funny, but that's how the show went off, you guys. I don't know. Tell me what you thought about the second part. Tell me what you think. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I feel like Heather is the biggest hypocrite, and I feel like I said before, I think I said it on the finale, like, she says things throughout the season. She does things throughout the season. They brought up how, you know, she was just a mean person. But then she comes on the reunion and tries to, like, backtrack. It's like, no, don't try to backtrack. You know, you were drunk and you said some things. Kelly was drunk and she said some things. I mean, it is what the fuck it is, okay? You know, they talked about Tamara having a bad temper too. Tamara doesn't deny that she has a temper. Tamara says she's not a good drunk. And, you know, if she hadn't been drinking, she never would have pushed Kelly, and she would have never acted like that. I do think Tamara is trying to change. People don't think she's trying to change. I think Tamara is trying to change. I think Eddie is a good influence on her, and I think that she just wants to be a better person, not only for herself and her children, but also for her new husband. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to the last part of the reunion. I'm hoping that we get to the bottom of whatever Vicky has on Shannon. I'm hoping that they do talk about the Ireland trip and how the ladies were pushing Kelly and trying to get her drunk and just trying to see what kind of reaction they can get out of her. So until next time, you guys, please stay real, stay safe, and stay tuned to Mika Chanel Is Just Saying. All right. Bye-bye.